All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. We are great. We are up and running. This is today's David's Kitchen show. We're going to be making a rice dish. I'm going to be using chicken with the rice dish after, and we're going to get started right now. So, as we set up the kitchen, we're going to show you the first step to making rice. Now, I have literally 40 minutes to make rice. If I don't get the rice going ASAP, it won't be done in time. So I have a very limited window here to get this rice in the rice cooker. What is a rice cooker? It is this device right here. Hang on. There we go. This device right here. And it's a pretty good device to have in your house because it really saves on energy. First step is to put a little bit of olive oil at the bottom and spray that in. Okay. Then I'm going to get about a large cup full of rice. And earlier I showed you how to proof test your rice. You want to basically see if it's floating. If that rice is not sinking to the bottom, it is contaminated with plastic. Now, they are selling plastic rice in the market, so be careful. If it's floating, do not eat it. Okay. You still hear that sound? Yeah. It's some sort of feedback on this computer. Okay, I'm going for a cup of rice. There you go. Very important it doesn't spill everywhere. Okay. I'm going to rinse that out with filtered water. And rice has a tendency to get residue from the ground. So it's one of the biggest problems is it has the potential for arsenic. So give it a good rinse job. Okay, you want to throw we washed some carrots. We're going to throw those carrots at the bottom of this dish, like that, right in there. We've got some celery. We're going to throw that in the bottom of the dish as well. We have one stalk of organic celery. Let me show you cutting it. Basic cuts like about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch. Now that's going to cook pretty hard, pretty fast with the ricer. So I'm going to go ahead and put the ricer on right now. And we're cooking with the drippings from a turkey dinner we had 2 weeks ago. So that's all going into the rice. That's the best part about this meal, I think. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut down the onion. There we go. Peeling off any exterior skin. Okay, peeling off the skin. Yeah, I think this computer has some internal noise that we're going to have to deal with. And if that's bleeding through the audio, we'll know after the recording. Then we take the large half of the onion and cut it the same way I did the other. Okay, and get as close to the bottom as you can without putting the bottom in there because it's a little bit too tough. Okay, I'm going to throw that in the ricer. So you got onions, celery, and carrots at the bottom. Then you take your trusted Italian seasoning and throw that on top. Before you put the rice down. Give it a good 1/2 teaspoon. All right, take the rice and put it right on top, like that. Plug it in. And you'll see the light go on. It just hit the start button right here. Go down on it. I'm going to put all of the turkey droppings in on top of that right now. Here we go. Plop. All right, if you want to put any water in, if you don't have a lot of turkey droppings, add whatever. If you don't have anything, you've got to add salt or seasoning. So one thing they do recommend is onion soup, but again, avoid MSG. All right, I'm going to cover this up, and that gelatin from the turkey will melt down into the turkey, into the entire broth. And I'm going to throw whatever water I have here in here. All right. The next portion of the meal is going to be a chicken, which I picked up a free-range chicken for $1.39. Amazingly, I got a $2 off coupon for a $3.39 free-range chicken, and that's going to be an interesting way to go for all intents and purposes. Now I'm having to broadcast through another venue, so you're seeing me in pretty dithered video over there at Vaughn with a buzz. And I've noticed that this computer has a buzz in it. And I just realized this, and this is a new computer, so we're gonna have to work on that. There's some sort of an audio feed coming in. That's not a good sign. Yeah. Some sort of a buzz in the background. I've got it muted here, but it's probably bleeding through. Okay. Hello, on the 8th day of Christmas, David Sponheim fed some Himalayan salt. Yeah, this is something you could season your rice with, is Himalayan salt. It's a pretty good alternative. Yeah. So that ricer is cooking right now. It's melting down. I'm going to throw a pinch of salt in there. Actually, no, I'm not, because it's already pretty salty. The next thing I'm going to do is bone the chicken. So here is the beautiful chicken breast right here. And I'm going to show you how to bone the chicken. I'm saving some of this onion for the chicken itself. I'm going to make a little soup out of that. You need to get a really sharp knife. This is a Cutco paring knife, which is one of the sharpest knives, permanent blade. I paid $30 for this knife. A friend of mine, well, ex-friend, because as soon as he sold me the knife, he became my ex-friend. He would not leave my home until I bought a knife from him, because he was selling Cutco. So anyway, great knives, by the way. Yeah. You know, that's weird you should say that again, because that's what happens when you say things like that. You see, the whole purpose of the mute is to train you not to say things like that. Yeah, that was the knife story. I'm reading the iVlog chat. Hey, be careful, Mr. Knife. Yeah, well, I've not, unlike Bobby Flay, I've never cut myself on camera. In fact, I've only cut myself once cooking when I was 10 years old, when I was just learning how to handle a knife. But now this knife is going to pare the breast off this chicken. Where's the breast going? Well, the breast is going in a plastic bag. And I recommend you use a cereal bag, you know, or a regular plastic bag. The cereal bag tends to break up, but these are no longer wax. So you can still use them. No, you can't ring me right now. I'm not taking any calls. Yeah. Bobby Flay. Bobby Flay is a major chef that does a lot of work, Power Chefs. Hi, Sarah. Anyway, assuming your hand is clean, it won't be after handling the chicken. You want to find an area of the inside of the chicken that is relatively soft, and you want to dig into it with the knife. This is the safest way to hold it, and try to get as close to the bone as possible. And you're slowly going around like this, grabbing most of the breast. You see that? And a nice even cut. Normally you would buy, you know, boneless breasted chicken, and that's of course the easiest thing to do. But I'm going to make a little chicken soup on the side with some red pepper in it. Yeah, okay. Once you get the basic part of the meat right there, then you can take it to hold that part of the meat and go down the other way. And then you continue separating the chicken from the fat and the bone. All right, beautiful. And I even left a little chicken on there for the chicken soup. Okay, then I'm going to take and bisect the chicken and make kind of a patty out of it. There we go. Hi, Sarah. Yeah, we had a major crisis there. There's audio pounding through the inside of that new laptop. Look at that.
Oh.
Some sort of major noise going on.
I hear a fan.
Well, I hear it. You see the line on the audio track?
Yeah, I can hear it.
That's not good. That's a serious audio bleed. Yeah. We'll have to look at our settings, but there's something wrong when audio comes in that hard. Okay, so I put this breast of chicken in a plastic bag, and I'm going to rinse my hands off. That's number one. And always have a paper towel available. Wipe your hands. How are you doing? Everything good?
Good. Do you need anything?
No, I'm good. You go ahead and warm up in the room. I heated it up for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to take some lemon and garlic. Now this you can put in your rice dish too if you want to slip a little garlic in the rice dish. But I'm going to take a spoon of this garlic right here that I bought a bulk amount of California garlic. Always look for California garlic. It's better than the Chinese garlic. Boy, everything's hard today, isn't it?
Yeah, do you need any?
No, I'm good. I'm going to take a little scoop of that garlic and put it in around the chicken. Right on top, right in that plastic bag. Then I'm going to splash some lemon juice in there. About a tablespoon. And you can put any other seasoning you want in there too. Now, I did this last week during the show. I had a kind of a crisis going on because we were dealing with this new computer, and as you can see, the audio, it's got issues. Yeah, I'm not happy with it. Anyway, proceed to pound the chicken with the lemon and the garlic in it. Turn your burner on level 3 and back. So I'm going to turn the burner on back here. And continue pounding that chicken. Beautiful. I'm telling you, if you pound that breast of chicken, I don't care if it came out of a freezer, it'll still be tender as hell. Now, I don't know how tender hell is, but because I've never been to hell, but I can assure you it's been marinating for a long, long time in hell. Yeah. All right, time to relax. We're halfway through. Wow, we got this far, and we're being broadcast through another venue, and you're watching me in low res at Vaughn. Well, this was a free-range chicken, so I'm happy to say. Now, some of this food has got to be cut up. I'm going to use a portion of the onion right here. I'm going to take a clean knife. I don't want to use my contaminated chicken knife. And just pull off the skin off the remainder of the onion. And I'm going to put this portion of the onion in a little olive oil on the pan behind me that's heating up right now. All right. Okay. It doesn't have to be special, it's just a few basic cuts. We'll throw some olive oil down. about 2 tablespoons. Must have been a little water on the grill. Okay, now I'm going to throw that onion on top of that grill. Right there like that. And then I'm going to cut up the peppers. Now it's best to always make sure you cut off any of the blemishes that are on there. So I'm going to cut that little blemish area right off. See that? Everything else is perfectly fine and will be very functional. You can pull the bulb of the seed ball out and plant it if you want to start your garden, but it has to go in a greenhouse in the middle of the winter, so that will all regenerate. All right, red pepper is full of lycopene, like I said earlier. All right. And just kind of scrape the seeds out with the tip of the knife, like that, like so. All right. Now I'm going to put the pepper down with the onions as a base for the chicken. And I'm just going to make nice chunky pieces out of this because this will go both in our rice dinner after it's cooked, as well as the meal I'm making, the soup. All right, we're going to go ahead and put that in there. Now these I grew in my garden. They're Anaheim peppers, and they just produced. And we're like freezing out here, and we just pulled this out of the garden. So because I regenerate these, I'm going to use the seed balls to plant new Anaheims for next year. And they are very hardy, and they really grow well in a cold environment. I was quite shocked. They're considered very mild on the heat index. They're above green pepper and below poblano peppers. Anaheims are. Okay. I'll put that in there in the meal as well. Just kind of dice it up. That'll go in the soup. It'll add a lot of taste enhancement to the soup. Okay, I'm going to turn this up to level 6 in the back. I'm going to put I'm going to keep the breast of chicken that I already tenderized separate. I'm going to lay that other piece of chicken right on top of all that. And I'm just going to crank it. And of course, you can throw some Italian seasoning in this dish at this point too. Highly recommend it. Another half teaspoon. Now the Italian seasoning is helpful in making chicken soup. All right, I'm going to start that up and get that going. And one of the ways to accelerate it is to add water. That's weird. It says just died down. The audio did. Huh. So put about I'd say about 1/8 of a cup of water in there. Huh. I'll be darned. Okay, so the audio started behaving normally now. It's like, I don't know if these cereal bags are BPA free or not. But if you don't have a cereal bag, you can get another, like a baggie, a standard baggie that has been used. Fried. No, this is a steam fry, Hyman. This is not a fry, and this is not a steam. This is a steam fry. I invented the process. I'm the originator. Mm-hmm. Oh, and I've got the refrigerator open. You should have told me that. I also think that I need to get a little more water in the mix, so that the water in back is just not kicking butt. Man, there was a lot of water on that grill. It's just coming up off the bottom of it. Look at that. I'm going to put a little more water in the steam ricer. Kind of get it going a little bit because it's not cooking fast enough. Yeah, one of the problems with the dinner is I had to start at 15 minutes late because of the the inherent problem with Vaughn. They wouldn't take our video feed. So I'm routing this show through our Periscope feed off of the main desktop. And we're here doing the laptop, feeding into Periscope and into Vaughn, or rather into iVlog. And we're only sending out about 300 kbytes per second for Periscope and 300 kbytes per second for Vaughn. And we're doing it through the Wi-Fi. The desktop system I have is Etherneted, so it has a direct feed to the signal. There's no Wi-Fi going through there. But this still works, and this laptop is doing very well. Now the audio finally calmed down. I have no idea what that was initially, but it's fine now. So I'm really happy about that. We kind of worked the system in. Maybe it got up to a specific temperature and decided to calm down or something. Little story about my thumb here. I had a night where Sarah was working pretty late, and I went in and touched a plate in a toaster oven, and it was bad. Over the past week and a half, I've had to deal with a really bad blister on my thumb. Hang on just a second. We have people who are psychotic in our room. We have to get rid of them. Yeah, well, I did, and I did everything. I even put honey on it like people recommended, and that hurt, but it actually helped it regenerate, and my skin is back to normal. This whole area right here, you can see it's discolored. The whole thing was burned from the plate that I put my thumb on, and I'm dang near almost lost my nail. Thank you, Mike. Mike Marin. Dave, you're a good cook. So be careful whenever you touch anything hot out of a toaster oven. And I had no idea. That plate must have been 700 degrees. And it was just one cycle of the toaster button. You know, it's ridiculous. Oh, it's improving very well, yeah. I'm using triple antibiotic ointment with the pain reliever in it. Or at least I had that when it was really bad. For the first 2 days, at first I didn't even think I had a burn. And then all of a sudden it became obvious when my hand was throbbing. And then I felt kind of weak because your entire autonomic nervous system kicks in and sends white blood cells to the injury. And then I got this throbbing hand. I could barely sleep for 2 days. And the blister came out about this far. Sarah said it was like ballooning out. And then, of course, the blister burst, and I had to make sure that was safe and clean. But, yeah, I'm saving my nail by wearing a little Band-Aid on the tip, so in case I'm doing any work, it won't snag my nail and go, oh, there goes my nail, because half of that nail was hanging off. Yeah. Man, I just cannot believe the burn off of a toaster oven. It was shocking. It happened during the time that California had the terrible fire, too, where 88 people, I don't know, did they find anybody else, burned to death. Tragic. Okay, now that's just rendering down the steamer right now is just rendering down the drippings. And the beautiful thing about the basic ingredients I threw in there is they will literally come together, cook to perfection. As long as you put about 2 cups of liquid to 1 cup of rice, you're okay. That's actually a little bit more than you need, but that's perfect. But you will have a really great protein-rich rice dish if you use the drippings from your turkey dinner. And I use that. Now, if you're ever cooking with the toxic things like propane, or you don't want to use your turkey drippings. You don't want to. If you're dealing with just good old-fashioned electric heat, your turkey drippings are very good in an enamel container. They're very tasty. Anyway, I'm reading the chat and talking to you in the camera. Now, this soup dish I'm making over here is just kind of initially cooking. And I'm going to saute the chicken breast in this dish. And I'm going to take all the vegetables and leave portion of it with the chicken soup. I'll be making a chicken soup with this tonight. And right now I'm just going to cook that breast of chicken. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dust it with a little bit of onion powder or garlic powder, or in my particular case, I've got this amazing wasabi powder that I made from wasabi peas. It's pretty cool. It's actually, I labeled it wasabi powder. And I'm going to throw that on there. And I'm going to put it right into the dish and let it cook and saute on the with the breast. So I'm just going to throw some wasabi powder in there. I'm going to take it out. Now there's 2 pieces of this breast. That's 2 separate meals for someone. I'm going to lay it gingerly onto the pan right there. And right onto the water that's cooking, just a little bit of water. Throw anything else that's in there onto it. This way you're maximizing everything, including whatever's in that bag. Just pour that right on top. You can cover it back up again. So what I'm doing is I'm steam frying or poaching the chicken breast at a level 6 on the grill. Now, if you hit that chicken breast really hard on a pan with butter, you get the effect you're looking for, that burnt chicken taste. But you wouldn't have a tender piece of chicken. That's the problem. The wasabi powder came from actually wasabi peas, and I paid like $1 for the peas. And when you get to the end of the bag, you just take the peas and crunch them up in a grinder. I made my own, virtual seasoning this way. There's no reason for the bag of wasabi powder to go away, when you can easily use it as a taste enhancement. Green peppers cost $4, then don't use green peppers. Don't. I get them for 50 cents where I am. Yeah, don't use green peppers. Don't even use pepper. Just use some onion. Yeah, forget the pepper. Go back to the same ingredients, carrot, onion, and celery that I was using earlier. You don't have to add peppers to this. But carrot, onion, and celery really are the basis for a good rice dish. And of course, a little garlic never hurts, so you can throw some garlic in like I did. I threw a tablespoon of that crushed garlic. I think what I'll do right now, since it's cooking, is I'll add just a teaspoon of the garlic, which I get bulk right here from California. I'll put a teaspoon of that right now into the ricer. I'll lift the cover on the ricer. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to get done in time to serve everything, but this way I can pour it in there and kind of move it around. Here, see? Yeah, I'm just kind of pushing all the ingredients together and kind of moving them slightly. Just work on the top. You want to leave everything else at the bottom. Don't touch the bottom with your spoon. Okay, that's perfect. It's just enough, less than a half an inch at the top. That's all you need for the rice to completely seal up. Now that ricer has a mind of its own. That's the beautiful thing about it, is it'll cook perfectly and then turn off and hit warm, and it'll just stay on warm on your grill. You can serve it from there. Now the chicken is going to be an interesting serve. I'm going to lift the cover now after I poached it slightly. Then I'm going to take and put a little bit more seasoning on top for color. You want to give it that look. Throw some more of this wasabi powder. Again, you can use garlic powder or anything you want. That'll work. All right. Flip it over. There you go. And you can serve this with a bit of the red pepper on side, or you can serve it on the rice itself. But when the rice is done, you plate up the rice and put the chicken next to it, and you've got yourself a nice meal for two for $4. Yeah, I think we're I'm gonna use the rest of the breast. Once I pull these out of here onto the plate, and they'll be done in just a few minutes. I'm going to keep the lid ajar so it doesn't get too steamy. Otherwise, it could make it rubbery. Now you pull the lid off. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and rip out of here and start the show in the other room. Yeah. Okay. And thank you for coming in, everybody. This is a great way to, I'm actually making 3 meals with this. I'm making 1 meal for 2 people. I'm making an amazing rice dish. Oh, no wonder it was scanning my computer. Okay. Antivirus was what was causing the computer to do it. Yeah. I'll tell Sarah. It's a great computer. It's a Dell laptop. Newest i7, 8th generation, Intel Core. Has a solid state hard drive and an additional 1 terabyte hard drive. Has 16 gigs of RAM. Yeah. One of the ways you can dress the chicken too when you present it, you can put a little Parmesan on it. I like to throw a little paprika on here just for color, give it a little color. Yeah, thank you. And when the rice is fully cooked, that little thing pops up and stops the cook cycle, and then you just pull it out of the ricer and you're good to go. You can serve rice up. You can put parsnips, yeah. If you have parsley, you can put that in your soup. At this point, you can put it whatever you want in the soup. I'm just going to cook the bones down and kind of make a light soup, because what I do is I actually have a container of endami, or as they call it, wakame. I've got some wakame pre-Fukushima. I'm going to put in that rice into the chicken soup. You only have 15 gigs of RAM. That should do. 16 is perfectly ideal for broadcasting. We have 16 gigs in the other one. We have 16 gigs in this. It's working great, by the way. It was overheating because of the antivirus thing. The fans were on or something. Yeah, but anyway, I'm going to pull those breasts out because they're done. Beautiful. So each one of these, it makes a separate meal. It's separate. You could cover it with rice on each one and serve 2 meals with this. And like I said, to show it off, you could put a little paprika on top. So just kind of lightly dusted. You don't want to use too much paprika. That's enough. Okay. I have a couple other spices like Patti LaBelle's. I'm going to probably use the rest of this. It's a really tasty, non-salted seasoning. I got these for a song one day. Pun intended, Patty. All right, I'm going to throw water on top of that chicken now. All right, put as much as you want in there. Depends on how much soup you want. That should do me. And then take some seaweed. And this is called endami and wakame. Highly recommend seaweed for your diet, especially if you're dealing with the ravages of Fukushima. The problem is some of the Fukushima seaweed may be actually contaminated with radiation, so it's kind of a catch-22. I got this the day Fukushima happened. I got about 20 bags of this stuff. I said, I'm going to go out and get some serious wakame right now, ahead of Fukushima. Okay. I'm going to put the, you just put those in there and they'll open right up. So I'm making kind of a chicken miso soup on the side with onions and peppers. Isn't that great? And turn that down to a low and let it run for a good hour or so, maybe 2. And you'll have yourself a chicken soup. So I really made 3 meals for the 1 meal that I'm saying up here at the top. Hey, thanks everybody. I'm going to start the show in the other room. you get the idea. You've got a full, probably 8 servings of rice here. You've got a chicken soup, 2 breasts of chicken waiting for digestion here. So, very nice meal. I'll probably just put a cover over it and serve it later. Thank you for watching David's Kitchen. I will be back next Thursday with another great recipe. In the meantime, let's get into the show and start talking politics. Cooking up politics. Thanks for coming in, everyone. Bye-bye.